Good evening. I'd like to thank everybody for being here tonight, and I'm very thankful for the opportunity to speak to all you guys tonight. I got to thank Ethan too for singing a song about. I asked if he could sing something about kindness, and love and kindness kind of go hand in hand. So thank you for that. But tonight, I want to talk to you guys about one thing, very briefly, and that's kindness. So, a few years ago, I used to work at a place called CKS Packaging. And it's probably what I would consider to be my first real job. And I worked primarily with the maintenance crew. So, as you can imagine, as I worked there, I began to become familiar with all the people in that department. But from the very first day, there were people telling me about a man named Gino. Now, they would tell me different things. They would say, "Stay away from Gino. He's just a mean old man." And they'd say, "Leave Gino alone. He's just not nice." And what was really funny about it was they never had a good reason for why this guy wasn't nice and why he was mean to people. What I did know that he was very short. He was always really hunched over. Um, Sadly, it was very apparent that his health was rapidly dwindling. He had a very long drive to work, so often he would come to work at the beginning of the week, and then he would sleep in his truck every night throughout the week, and then go home at the end of the week. So my mind started to really wonder, and I was asking myself, why is this guy supposedly so mean? Well, curiosity got the best of me, and I decided there's only one thing left to do. I'm going to go introduce myself to this Gino. Now, I'll be honest with you, I was pretty nervous because I had multiple people telling me, "Stay away from this guy." But I really couldn't understand why. But lo and behold, I introduced myself and we hit it off. And we were practically best friends at work through the rest of the time that I worked there. Now, it was a little odd that he was a convicted felon and was missing a pinky, but he was very nice. And he would smile and he would laugh when I talked to him. And I'm serious, he even started talking to more people that he didn't seem to used to um, after I started talking to him. And from that day forward, he just seemed kind of like a happier person. And I truly believe that it made his time at work more enjoyable than it was before. So I wanted to tell you that story just to show you how powerful kindness can be. And the reason that kindness is so powerful is because it comes from none other than God himself. In Ephesians chapter 4, verse 32, Ephesians 4, verse 32, it says, "And be ye kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God, for Christ's sake, hath forgiven you." As we all should know, Jesus came to this earth to live and to sacrifice his life for us in order to have that, so we can have that chance at a home in heaven. So how often is it in the Bible that we see Jesus perform acts of kindness? And I would venture to say that his entire life was lived out of kindness and compassion towards the world, whether we even deserved it or not. We won't read through all these stories, but in Matthew chapter 8, we see Jesus heal a man with leprosy. In Luke chapter 19, we read the story of Zacchaeus. And this one I thought was very interesting, and I thought it was amazing. So we're going to talk about it for just a minute. Zacchaeus climbed a tree so he could see Jesus amongst the crowd, to which Jesus immediately desired to dwell with him. The most interesting part about this story, though, to me, begins in verse 7. In verse 7, it says, "And when they saw it, they all murmured, saying that he was gone to be a guest with a man that is a sinner." But do you think Jesus really cared about what the crowd thought of Zacchaeus? To me, it sounded exactly like my coworkers telling me, "Stay away from that old man Gino. He's mean." Jesus was a walking act of kindness, and as you can imagine, it just didn't matter what the crowd thought. And because he seemed good in Zacchaeus, it resulted in Jesus saying at the end of the chapter that salvation was brought unto his household that day. So we sing a song, and it comes from 1 John chapter 4. And verses 7 and 8, it says, Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of God. And every one that loveth is born of God, and knoweth God. He that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. So it may not seem like it to everybody, but to me, kindness is a form of love that we show in this world. And as we can see, love is one of the biggest fundamentals in our Christian lives. Every one of us has opportunities to show kindness not only to our Christian family, but to anyone in the world that we encounter. Now, it may be difficult or even uncomfortable at times, but every single chance taken showing kindness to someone is a potential to save a soul and to show someone the love of God that He has for all of us. So tonight, I hope all of us can think of ways to be kind and that we can implement them into our Christian lives. So if there's anyone here that hasn't put on Christ in baptism, or that needs prayers from the congregation, or that even needs extra kindness in their life, won't you please come forward as we stand and sing.
What a friend we have in Jesus.